All right, guys. So I just wanted to give you a quick breakdown of the indicative versus the subjunctive. Pretty much everything you've learned before today was the indicative mood. The indicative is that present, the preterite, the imperfect, the pretérito, perfecto. All those stuff is in the indicative mood. Now, we've learned another one. We don't really talk about it that much being a grammatical mood, but we also, the imperative or commands. That's a separate mood, but we don't really think of it not too exceptional. But indicative versus subjunctive, that is a big deal. And again, as I said, it's a grammatical mood. It is not a tense. So you guys have learned hablo and hablas, habla. All those are conjugations in the present tense of the indicative. Now, that was pretty much the only mood that we were working with, so we never specified we're talking about the indicative. And normally, if you leave off the mood, you're probably talking about the indicative. So I say, conjugate in the present tense, en el tiempo presente. What I mean to say is presente de indicativo, del modo indicativo, of the indicative mood. Usually, because it's so much more frequent to use the indicative. But subjunctive, that's used very often. There's no getting around this. You have to know this. So you have to understand it. So all right, now, don't think that, oh, I already know the indicative. I should be good to go. No, that's only going to get you so far, and that's not very far. You have to know the subjunctive. Now, we know how to form it. This is not what this video is going to be about. This is just a real basic video of just explaining that there is a difference between these two. We know that the yo form of hablo, or is of hablar is hablo, drop yo, opposite ending, and becomes hable. This is still actually yo hable. And this was, as we know, would be yo hablo. Now, those would both translate as I speak, but they are used in different situations. So, yo hablo, I speak. Yo hable is also I speak. That's usually how it could be translated. It could be translated other ways too, but we'll just, for simplicity's sake, it also means I speak. They both mean the same thing, but they cannot be replacing one another. So you can't just say, yo hable español. That does not work. Now, I might ask you, do you want me to speak Spanish? And in that case, I would say, bueno, ¿quieres que yo hable en español? But I said yo hable in that sentence there. And I will talk about the reason why in other videos, but just to understand that yo hable, now technically translated as to speak. Maybe another example, I could say, it's good that I speak Spanish, right? Es bueno que yo hable español. There it's more literal translation of yo hable really means I speak. In that sentence, that second clause in there said yo hable español. That is I speak Spanish. You cannot replace that. You couldn't just say es bueno que yo hablo español. From what you know at this point, it might sound like that's okay, but actually in Spanish, it's very incorrect. You could not say that. Es bueno que yo hable español is the only option there. You could not say hablo. So these are not interchangeable, but they are both present tense. So understand that the subjunctive, when we talk about subjunctive, it is not a tense. You're not conjugating the subjunctive tense. You're conjugating in the subjunctive mood. And here, what we've learned so far, we're only conjugating the present tense of the subjunctive mood. So there is also a past subjunctive. There is technically a future subjunctive. That's archaic. It's not used anymore. You might come across it in literature and stuff, but you don't have to worry about the future subjunctive. There is all those perfects, the pretérito perfecto, pluscuamperfecto. There are subjunctive equivalents of those as well. But the good thing is they're all the same uses. The same triggers happen in the with what we're doing right now with the present subjunctive are the same ones that'll happen in the other tenses as well. But just understand, this is not a tense. It is a mood, and mood in a grammatical sense, not in mood as in, I'm upset right now. That's my mood. Not like that. You think of it as more of the indicative is a lot of your factual information, where subjunctive is more of your subjective information. It's more of the emotive language. This is, it's exciting that, it's doubtful that, it is, I hope this happens. I want this to happen. So Again, we'll talk about the uses more, but I just kind of wanted to give a little overview of the difference between the indicative and the subjunctive, more in the kind of the terminology.